Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Kenny T with Kilo Tango Aviation. Today, every day, and whenever you listen to this or watch it, we're going to talk about the ACS, the Airmen Certification Standards. What is that? Well, the Airmen Certification Standards is what the FAA uses to determine how they're going to grade you when you take your practical exam. When you got these standards and people are like, well, what is it that I'm going to be graded on? How are they going to test me on all of this stuff? That's what the ACS does. It breaks down exactly what's going to be tested, what the DPE is going to evaluate on, and the standard of which your instructor is going to break down what you need to know for your check ride. I'm going to make a few different videos that focus on a different section, but this one is particularly just about what the ACS is, so you understand what it is that will look. Yeah, the goal of it is a certification process to ensure that all the applicants got the knowledge, ability, and as a pilot command of an airplane, because that's the ultimate goal. Want to be PIC. It integrates your aeronautical knowledge, risk management, and your flight proficiency standards all in one document. And each of the different categories are broken down into three different things. You got your knowledge, your risk management, and your skill. That's how they're graded. Not just can you do the maneuver, but do you understand the knowledge of it? Do you understand the risk associated with it? And do you have the skill to actually execute it and use it? And you know, that's important, because by having this, you don't have to wonder about, well, am I just meeting the standards, what they are? It gets rid of all the gray area. I mean, there's still some things for interpretation, but it gets rid of trying to guess, well, this random sheet that somebody gave me tells me what it is. You have the source document. And I've learned from being in the military, flying to airlines, there's always a source document. There's always, where does all the gouge and everything come from? This is it right here. So before you even take your practical exam, prerequisites tells you exactly what it is. And all that stuff is outlined in the Part 61, 39, and 10. You gotta make sure you take your written exam. So it tells you what tests you need for the actual exam that you're looking at. So in this case, we're looking at the private pilot airplane, and it tells you that you got to be 15 to take it. You got 2.5 hours, and you need to pass the score of 7. When you take the practical exam, how well you doing your written exam dictates things that are going to be discussed and that have to be covered when you take your check ride. Got to make sure you use the most current ACS on the date that you're taking. That's pretty much. And when they're grading you, they want to make sure that you have mastery of the topic in accordance with the level of learning appropriate for that specific task. So even though you'll do steep turns as a private student and also as a commercial student, the level at which you're expected to do it is going to be different. It's going to be different depending on where you're at. The oral questioning when you take your check ride is going to happen throughout the entirety of your check ride. It even tells you that right here. So if you're wondering, can they ask you questions during your check ride? The answer is, yeah, they can ask you at any point during the time, because it's built in there. It tells them what to do. This not only guides the students, but it also guides the evaluators. For some topics, evaluators will ask applicants to describe or explain. For other items, they're going to assess the applicant's understanding of a particular item by actually giving them a scenario. So the evaluator will tell you, you're at this airport, the weather looks like this, how are you going to act? What is the decision that you're going to make? What are the things you're going to do? And that's one of the things that they kind of do to test you in ways where you may not be able to actually do the thing in the air. Like you can't get an icing in there, but they might ask you, hey, what are you going to do if you encounter icing? That may be something you ask, because you likely will not encounter that while you're actually on your check ride. But they want to understand that you understand what to do. The demonstration of knowledge, risk management, and flight proficiency. That's something I kind of talked about in the original part, but that's something that they want to make sure that they can test you on. So when we look at the task, when we get to the section where it breaks down every single task, this is kind of how it's going to be set up. It's going to have the element, the task, and they're going to be kind of coded. So PA is the applicable ACS, pilot airplane, area of operation, the task, and then it's going to also have the knowledge section. So the K2 means knowledge section 2. Some of the different tasks have multiple different knowledge areas, so you got to make sure that you know each of them, not just one, but all of them based on what it is. So there's no requirement for the evaluator to test every knowledge and every risk management element of task, but the evaluator has the discretion to sample as needed to ensure you have mastery. Some of the areas will show that there's a minimum requirement in different sections, and that's kind of something that as you read through, you'll kind of know how many you'll need to ask. But the thing is, because you don't know which ones are going to ask, you need to know all of the different areas so you're ready when it comes down to getting the questions. And any place that you are deficient, your written exam, as I stated, you'll need to make sure that you have that down packed too, because they'll have to ask you at least one of the knowledge elements in that area, one risk management element in the area, and all the skill elements in that area that you may have missed. This goes further, and this is in the appendix, going to further explain. So if you read through this gives you a better understanding of exactly how they're going to do it. Question on the different sections. Each section has the reference for where it's getting that information they're going to test you on. So if you're wondering, well, how do I prepare for that area in the ACS? It tells you right there. So it makes it really useful. It makes it so you're not sitting there trying to figure out where to find the information, what it is, because it tells you where to find the info. When you're getting ready for the check ride, you got all the requirements done and you're prepping. The FAA encourages applicants and instructors to use the ACS when preparing for the Airmen knowledge test and practical test. That means FAA is recommending that you use it. I'm recommending that you use it. So you probably should use it. It'd be a good idea. By doing well at this, it sets you up to have a good check ride. So the ground portion, when you're doing it, is there to help determine if you're going to be good enough to step into the actual flying portion of it. So as it states right here, the ground portion of the practical test allows the evaluator to determine whether the applicant is sufficient in preparing to advance to the flight portion of the practice. Okay, so do well on the first part. You can go fly the airplane and demonstrate like what this is telling you. Use the ACS to prepare for your test. Study each section. Know the information in each section, because they're going to sample different information from all the sections, because they don't have time to check every single thing, but you got to know it all so you can be. And if you do that, you'll be ready for your check ride. Let's take a look here. So this is a table of contents. Table of contents shows you what is in each different section. So area 1, that's what we'll talk about in the next video. Area 1 is all the pre-flight prep stuff. So tasks A through I. So pilot quals, airworthiness requirements, weather, cross country, the NAS limitations, etc. Pre-flight procedures, airport and seaplane base operations. So your comms, your traffic, all your takeoff and landing stuff. Performance maneuvers, ground reference maneuvers, so steep turns and your ground ref. Navigation, slow flight stalls, basic instrument maneuvers, emergency procedures, night ops, post-flight procedures, and then we just talked about the eligibility. In the next episode of ACS with KT, we're going to talk about the pre-flight preparation stuff, pilot qualifications, all that stuff, task A through all of it. Now, this way you have an idea of what to look for. So get ready for that next. Go ahead and click on that link up there, and it'll get you set up. Looking for him.